What is up, everybody? We are back in the building. Give me a one in the comments if you can hear me okay. Give me a one in the comments if you could see me okay. Give me a two in the comments if you can't see me or if there's anything wrong with the stream. Pretty soon, I'm going to have to trust my equipment and stop saying that because it kind of makes the video suck a little bit when I watch the playback. But until then, I will continue to say it to make sure you are getting the absolute best visual and audio experience that I can possibly give you. I mean, what more can I do? You are about to lose your food stamps and your welfare check. The least I can do is make sure that your government funded EBT phone gives you the best shows on the internet, YouTube, and every other social media platform. The big backs are in a frenzy due to the government shutdown. There's a good chance that come November 1st, you're not going to get your welfare check. You're not going to get your food stamp allotment. You're not going to get your manna from heaven that the government, which is your God, gives you for nothing, right? And the usual suspects are angry. The number one recipient of welfare in America is the Caucasian female. I need to get that out first. So when I talk about big backs and people being afraid of not getting their benefits, understand that this is not a specifically black issue, right? There are many swap meet recipients who are tripping because they are not going to get their electronic benefits transfer, their eat better tonight, their I have a refrigerator with more food than somebody who works 3 jobs, magic card. We might as well call this fucking thing a Pokemon card, the way it manifests free food, the way like for people who don't want to work. That's crazy, right? But of course, everyone is blaming you know who. I don't even want to say his name. Now, before we get all the way into this situation, I want to tell you something that I found amusing about this whole entire thing. And if you went to elementary school in America, you will probably find this amusing too. So there is a beautiful state just north of me called Oregon, right? And I was looking up all the different varieties of EBT card. I'll be doing my research like that. And I discovered the funniest thing. I discovered the absolute funniest thing, right? So when you get a food stamp card in Oregon, the image that is on the food stamp card is an image of a wagon, the old school Western wagons, the kind that they use that you see in the cowboy movies, the kind that white folk use to cross the country to pursue opportunity and free land and everything like that. And on this card, it says Oregon Trail. Now, if you are a person who went to elementary school in America, you remember, and you're my age, 40. You remember when you used to play the little game Oregon Trail on the old school computer, and it would give you like different scenarios, and it would have this like terrible image of like a old school wagon like rolling along a trail, and sometimes and you have to make decisions, right? It was an RPG, a role playing game, and based on your decisions, that would decide whether your family lived or died. Sometimes you kill everybody because they got sick from drinking polluted water. Other times you get attacked by wolves and people will die, right? So it just made me laugh because I noticed that they have Oregon Trail in the picture on the wagon as the image of their free food program. And I'm immediately thinking, like, if there's anything that was an example of self determination and a lack of dependency on the government or a refusal to depend on the federal government, it is the people who risked everything to cross the country, fight Indians, right? Fight freaking savages, fight freaking disease and wild animals and Mormons to stake out a claim and take a chance on life that could have ended their lives. It is the people who went on the Oregon Trail. Why would you use something that's all about individual effort, refusal of government handouts? Why would you use the image of that to put on a card that represents everything that is opposite of that? Why didn't they put a image of a big fat white woman with 12 children and one tooth and a meth pipe on the front of this card? Because that would be more representative of the people who are receiving those type of benefits. Pilgrims and settlers, I mean, those people were like, I'm talking about if bet on yourself was a person, that's exactly what they were. They're like, dude, I got this gun and I got 8 bullets in a dream. We're going to go to the middle of nowhere, fight off bloodthirsty Indians, risk getting scalped. Our women could get kidnapped and taken as slaves, but we just want to go put seeds in the dirt in the middle of nowhere, and we're willing to risk it all to do that. That is not representative of free shit from the government. So that just kind of like made me giggle. It made me chuckle. So I want to share that with you. But beyond that, we just have people in full blown panic, right? We don't, they're in full blown. I was reading somebody's comment. I got caught up. We're in full blown panic. People are straight tripping because they eat better tonight might not show up for them on the first of the month. Now, this is no offense to anybody who might get free food from the government. This is more of an indictment of the way this free food is um, uh, distributed. I would prefer on the front of the cards you put an image of like Moses and a bunch of Israelites behind him, because that's the only time in any recorded historical account that I heard of people getting free shit for not doing no work. If you don't know about that, because you never read the Bible or you just can't read, Moses prayed to the Hebrews, the Hebrew God, because the Israelites was hungry, and they was like, we should have just stayed in Egypt with the black folks because they had good food and shit. They was putting seasonings and shit. And because Moses could not have his people scream, take us back to the niggas, he prayed to God, and their God made food come down in the middle of the night called manna. And when they would wake up in the morning, they just walk outside and pick the shit up off the ground and put it in a pot and cook it, and it was food. And it tastes like, I guess it was magical food, so it tastes like whatever they wanted it to taste like. Like, nigga, you want roast beef? Just imagine some roast beef and it's gonna taste like that. That's the that's the that's the that's the understanding I got from um the account. Yeah, they made quail run in the middle of the desert, right? I don't even think quail exists in the damn desert, but somehow they was in a desert with no water, but it was birds and shit running around for them to kill and eat. Hey, I'm not the guy who wrote the story. I'm not questioning the story. I'm just saying, if we were in a court of law, 12 jury of your peers probably would not find that to be valid. But so that's the only example I've ever heard of like free food like that. And I would tell you today something that no one else is brave enough to say. I would say that people who receive welfare benefits have a godlike relationship or view of the federal government. That is why you look at these people and they're willing to go against their own common sense and logical and rational thinking to side with government officials who simply promise them free shit and 9 times out of 10 never deliver it. I'm going to tell you something that your dad didn't tell you before he fucked your mom and left. Democrats are the ones who cut welfare benefits. That was Bill Clinton. So as he talked you up and black people was like, he is the first black president. The whole time we were doing the buck dance, he was cutting welfare benefits for poor families all over America. Bet you didn't know that. But they told you that George W. Bush was the problem. I'm not here to make you mad. Like O'Shea Duke Jackson says, I know you're mad, but it's not my fault, right? So this guy cut your welfare benefits, basically like stomped on your nuts, and you don't hate him, you hate the Republicans. I mean, make that make sense. And just like back then, right now, the Democrat Party is responsible for your welfare benefits possibly not coming at the first of the month. And you know who you're mad at? Not the people holding up the government. You're mad at the dudes who have already voted in favor of the funding bill because obviously the TV told you, hey, look, we don't got to give you no explanation. You just need to be mad at this group of people because we said so. And I know this is the case because I posted a video yesterday about what is really causing the government shutdown. And I did a bunch of research and I gave my opinion on it, right? But the people who, they probably never actually watched the video, but the people who were the most vocal in the comments were a bunch of people telling me that the truth didn't matter and it's all the Republicans' fault no matter what the Democrats are doing. This is the way our country is shaping up right now. A bunch of people who don't care about what's true, what's actually factual. They're literally just like, we hate this guy, and no matter what you say, we will suffer any humiliation so that we can continue to hate this guy because someone told us to. I don't know how that's supposed to work out for America, but I'm going to tell you that as long as we keep carrying that type of mindset, it's going to be a hard 3 years. I mean, you got people who are about to waste 3 years of their life on hating the president as opposed to working hard to have prosperity and to thrive during what I feel is a good time. It's absolute crazy. Yalishiba, bro, I'll give you the link. And guys, we see this time and time again. We give these people the link to come up and explain why we're dumb, why we don't know what we're talking about, and they either never click the link or they come up and prove that they're moronic. That's what I'm noticing. All they want to do, like KP from KC said, all they want to do is complain. Let's tap in.
I just looked at my receipt for my Uber in Chicago. Let me show you all the freaking tax that Chicago charged on top of just the base rate of my Uber. So just for the privilege of taking an Uber in Chicago, here are all the additional taxes I had to pay. A Chicago ground transportation surcharge, Chicago accessibility.
Hold on, guys. We got the wrong video. My bad. Maybe I am as dumb as they say I am. Maybe I am as dumb as they say I am. I need to get the EBT video. Sorry. What the hell is the EBT? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Got it. Got him. See, I told you eyes was smart.
SNAP benefits will not be issued for the month of November. If you're new here, my name is Crystal. I'm a social worker and a caseworker. I have been working in the social service field for over 10 years. I also worked at the SNAP Welfare Food Stamp Office for over 6 years. I have processed hundreds of SNAP cases, and in this video, I will explain to you what's happening with November SNAP benefits. Due to the government shutdown, many states are now sending out notifications stating that they do not have the funds to issue SNAP benefits for the month of November. The federal government has already informed all states that it will not fund November's benefits. And since the funding for SNAP comes from the federal government, the states literally have no money to pay out. Some states are outright saying that they will not issue November's benefits, and some states have not confirmed it yet. I'll just tell you, if you receive SNAP benefits, please be careful on how you spend October's benefits because there will be no more SNAP issued until this shutdown ends.
No more food stamp because of the government shutdown starting November 1st. If you have food stamp right now, I urge you to save your money. If you have to go on eggs and rice, then so be it. But save your money because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. As long as the government shutdown continues, the benefit is going to stop because they don't have enough funds to, sustain the program. And it's not only that. We're talking about the Army. We're talking about veterans. We're talking about TSA employees. A lot of people are going to stop getting paid, and this is just going to create chaos because nobody's going to want to work. Now, Republicans are blaming Democrats. Democrats are blaming Republicans. It's just a back and forth. Now, I got a question for you guys. How about those Democrats and Republicans? How about they stop getting their paycheck? And let's see how that works. I guarantee that if they stop getting paid because of the shutdown, they're going to open up like this. But since they're getting paid, they don't care about you guys.
I get it. I have a family that has fucking food stamps. But do not go in these motherfucking people's store and steal because it's a setup. They're doing it around the holidays on purpose. It's a setup. I'm telling you, it is. National Guard will be at your house, at your car. Like, just think about it. Thanksgiving is in November. The one holiday where we literally celebrate with a lot of food. I can't say too much because y'all know how the government work and they listen and be trying to take the videos down. But just think about it for a second. What happens when people don't have food, when people can't provide for their family, when people are on their last resort? What happens when people get frustrated over somebody they eventually snap, right?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
They snap like SNAP benefits. Let me tell you something. This lady was like, oh, people are going to, I got to let you play this. I got to play this part. I got to play this part where this chick's like, yo, start stealing stuff. There's a chick on here who's like, yo, start stealing. Start stealing, start robbing. But oh, here it goes. Perfect. Here it goes. Get back there. I gotta play you this one where the chick starts saying, hey, go take shit. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Black Conservative Perspective with Greg Foreman, please go over there and do that, bro. Be on top of it. I ain't gonna lie, pause. But
all of these gifts, all of these presents, don't go out there buying all of this. Furthermore, you need to start cutting down on your spending and stop buying unnecessary stuff, okay? Because the only way we're gonna affect these
probably should be doing that anyways, right? Regardless of if your food stamps get cut off or not, right?
okay, so a lot of these people are like, oh, this is a setup. The government is cutting your food stamps because they want you to go out and steal. They've planned this. They're doing this in November, all this stuff. Guys, listen, the government is not cutting your benefits. The government is shut down right now because congressional Democrats do not want to vote in favor of the funding bill. They have programs where they are stealing money, allegedly. They got all these bullcrap programs that make absolutely no sense. They're giving money to Uganda and Rwanda and stuff, and they are telling the Republicans that if they don't continue to fund these wasteful programs, they will continue to keep the government shut down, right? And President Trump has worked out a way to continue to pay the military while the government is shut down, right? Let me tell you how crazy this is. And I want you to listen very close. Because when you come here, the least you can do is be informed so you can go out and argue from an informed position. You know it's the Democrats who are holding up the government because Donald Trump ordered that the military should still get paid. He's still going to pay the military, even though the government shut down, right? Congressional Democrats are right now today threatening to sue Donald Trump if he continues to pay the military during the government shutdown. Now, let me give you this tidbit. The members of the House and the Senate, they still get paid during the shutdown. So their paychecks keep coming in, even though the government is shut down, but they're going to sue Donald Trump if he continues to pay the military during the shutdown. Now, who do you think, when you look at that, who does it seem like wants to keep the government shut down? Donald Trump is like, yo, open the government back up. Even if you don't open it up, we're going to continue to pay the military. They're like, if you pay the military during the shutdown, even though we still get our paychecks during the shutdown, we're going to sue you. It's obvious who doesn't give a crap about the American people. The military is that's who keeps us safe. So that terrorists, Al Qaeda and shit, and Hugo Rodriguez down in New Mexico, I'm down in South America, don't bring a bunch of narcos over here and kill us all. And they're engaged in a conflict right now with Venezuela. They're helping with border security. Wouldn't you want to keep paying those people? Why would you want to stop their paychecks that they use to feed their family? I just don't understand how you guys don't see how demonic these people really are. Or maybe you see it and you're demonic too, so you don't care. That's the only thing I could think of. But you got all these people talking about this is a setup and you know how they do. They want you to steal and woo. Ain't no setup. You on the internet making videos, but not using the internet for what it's intended to be, which is an educational tool. Leandre, I'm going to let you come up in a minute. You ask all the questions you want to. But it doesn't make any sense. But if you haven't watched my video, what I want to do is I actually want to share with you. This is all factual stuff. I researched it myself. I want to share with you exactly why the government is shut down, exactly why the Democrats are refusing to fund the government so you can get your EBT payout. And I know a lot of us on here don't get no EBT, but it's still important because obviously we all have family members and stuff who get government assistance. I mean, that doesn't even need to be said. Why those family members are going to be begging you for $40 when the first of the month comes. I want to show you exactly what's going on here. And really show you who's the culprit. And honestly, I would like for DeAndre Willer, he's the only person in the audience that I know for a fact is a liberal. He's a Kamala Harris supporter. He does not like Donald Trump at all. I'm going to give you the link, Leandre. Come up. Because I want you to come up here and I want you to explain to me, after we let Senator Kennedy speak, I want you to explain to me why the Democrat Party feels that these things are so important, they are willing to deprive Americans of assistance that they need. The link is in the comments. I'm giving you the link. The link is in the comments right here. Click the link, come up. I'm going to play Senator Kennedy's video, and you are going to get the opportunity to explain to me why the Democrat Party that you love and support, you and Yvette Carnell, why they are willing to deprive Americans of their ability to feed their children over the funding of these programs. I'll give you 30 seconds to come up. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to come up. That's the only question you need to ask. Why are these things so important to a bunch of people who are supposed to be fighting for American citizens? That's what kills me. Sirondell, you could come too. But we know what it is. The Democrat Party is trying to create chaos any way they can because they know that when things are bad, people blame the president. And they blame the party of the president. And creating chaos and division it worked last time in getting Democrats back in the White House. Donald Trump ain't doing that. The Republicans are on board with the funding bill, the government funding bill. I'm not saying that both sides don't do it. Republicans also do let the government get shut down to get what they want. But what I'm telling you is this time, it is the Democrats who are doing it. And at least when the Republicans shut it down, to me, it's like a reasonable thing. Like they want something that's reasonable. And the Democrats usually capitulate and give it to them. But if you look at the situation, the programs that the Democrats are tripping over, man, it don't make no. Oh, Leandre, I know you scared. The boss told you to get back to work at Baskin Robbins. Go work at Baskin Robbins. I know you. I know you scared, Leandre. See, guys, I want you to notice something on this channel, and we're gonna keep moving on. I give these people the opportunity to come up and defend their position. I'm not like these other YouTube channels. Leandre, I'm right here. The link is right there for you, my brother. I give these people the opportunity to come up, defend their position, and prove me wrong. This is why when I go to places like No Jumper, I can speak my mind and speak what I believe so freely. And when people say shit to me about you this and that, I know when they lie, I know they're wrong because I open my panel up for anybody to hop up here and prove me wrong. You guys, you could literally go on your phone, get a bunch of facts, hop up here and read them off and be like, what about this, Brandon? What about this? What about this? And I know it's not going to happen because I've already done the research. So let's let Senator Kennedy tell you why your beloved Democrats are shutting the government down. You know, the ones that's for you and they gave us freedom and all this type of crap. It's like they never really gave you anything. But for some reason, some way they tricked you into thinking they gave you something. And now you ready to you're basically ready to suffer to prove your loyalty to this group of people who ain't loyal, to prove your loyalty to a group of people who aren't loyal to anyone but themselves. I'm not telling you to believe me. I'm just telling you to be smart. Okay, I got my boys up here. They're going to be up here for a few minutes, y'all. Let's do this. I'm going to step out of the situation. I got one conservative, P. Sizzle, up here. I have one Democrat or liberal supporter. He's not a Democrat, but he voted for Kamala Harris, and he sided with the Democrats in the last election. And I'm sure he's against Trump 100%. So I'm gonna play this video, and I'm gonna let each one get a turn explaining why their side is right or wrong. So this is Senator Kennedy. He's gonna explain exactly why the government is shut down, and then I'll let these guys have at it. I like this. I should start this liberal versus conservative debate. Let's go. Which is why your government is shut down.
Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez got very, very upset, as did the socialist wing of her party, when the president sent over what's called a rescission package. Basically, President Trump just said, we want you to take some stuff out of the budget that we think is wasteful. And we did. And that upset the Congresswoman. She's entitled to be upset if she wants to. But that really upset the socialist wing of the party. And so we took out, and here's what they want us to put back in. We found that under President Biden, they were spending $3 million for circumcisions and vasectomies in Zambia. We took that out.
Okay, $3 million for circumcisions. That's where they cut the little meat on your weenie off, and vasectomies, so Zambian men, this is a country in Africa, can't reproduce. Okay, that's the first thing. $3 million. They took that out.
The Congresswoman says, we're going to shut down government till you put that back in. We found $500,000 of American taxpayer money for electric buses in Rwanda. We found
$500,000 of taxpayer money is going to Rwanda to give them electric buses. You putting electric buses in a country that barely got paved roads. I know about Rwanda. I've been to Africa many times. That's where your money going. And if they don't put it back, if they don't continue to waste your money, the Democrats are not going to allow the government to be reopened.
$3.6 million for pastry cooking classes and dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti.
Pastry cooking classes and dancing lessons for male prostitutes in Haiti. Think about that. And I got a big sign right here because I really did the research. The Democrats have not denied any of these things. Their answer to these truths, their response to this is Trump is a dictator. That's why your grandma was having no King's Day, because they had to have a distraction to take people's attention away from the fact that they are holding the American people hostage because the Republicans refuse to waste money by sending it to countries where these Democrats are, I'm pretty sure, getting kickbacks. You want to get some kickbacks, go send the money to Africa or a black-run nation.
I kid you not. I'm not making this up. It was in the budget under President Biden. We took it out. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez in the socialist wing, the loon wing of the Democratic Party, says we're going to shut down government until you put it back in.
Can't make this shit up, bro.
$6 million for media organizations for the Palestinians. $833,000 for transgender people in Nepal. $300,000 for a pride parade in Lesotho. $882,000.
Pride parade, millions of dollars for LGBTQ programs in third world countries. Millions. This is why you aren't going to get your food stamps on November 1st.
For social media mentorship in Serbia. $4.2 million. We took it out. The Congresswoman and the socialist wing of their party says we got to put that back in for the open government. $4.2 million for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex people in the Western Balkans and Uganda. I could spend the rest of the afternoon here. We took all that out. It upset Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. It upset the socialist wing of her party. And now that wing of her party and the Congresswoman are threatening all other Democrats and saying, you've got to shut that government down until we get what we want. And part of what they want is to add this kind of stuff back into the bill.
What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to let each of my brothers up here, because we all brothers, you know what I'm saying, take a crack at what was said. Before that, I got some misinformation in the comments. Oh, this is a woman. Okay. Hello, ma'am. Hello, beautiful queen. Yali Shiba. Yale Shaba. Shut up about a Honda. That's what I thought about when I read your name. Look, $40 billion to Argentina from Trump. I love that you're here, because the one thing that's going to happen is you're going to get educated, boo. The $40 billion is only if the Argentinian president is reelected. Also, $20 billion, well, the entire amount is a loan. None of what the Democrats are sending to these third world countries is a loan. This is just money out. You're not getting none of this back, right? This is just money out, right? On top of that, this $40 billion is going to be financed, it's going to be provided by private banks, private interest. This is not just government money being sent to Argentina. Also, Argentina uses the U.S. dollar. So the more U.S. money circulates in Argentina, the stronger it makes our government, while it is our currency. Now, what I will tell you, it is risky. It is risky. I won't deny that. It's risky as hell, because I don't really see how Argentina's going to pay any of this shit back. But it's not your taxpayer dollars. It is private interest. They are going to assume the lion's share of the risk. So go for it. It ain't my money. Knock yourself out. All right. Now, let's go, Leandre. I'm going to let you decide. You want to go to first or P Sizzle go first? Leandre, put the ice cream scooper down. Do you want to go first or do you want P Sizzle to go first? You're muted. Look, the L on his icon stands for liberal. Bro has been stricken to silence because he's looking right now. He's tapping to try to find information to refute. Leandre,
you can let P Sizzle go first.
Okay, P Sizzle, go ahead, my brother.
All right. Yeah, great show as always, Brandon. And my point's really to support the government shutdown. Everything that we've seen is so our GDP is close to $30 trillion, and our interest payments alone on that GDP are $1.5 trillion. When I was a baby boy, that our debt percentage as a whole, in relation to the overall GDP, was only like 10%, 11%, and now I'm about like 24, 25, and within 20 years, our interest payments went from being close to 10% of what we're producing every year to now close to 16% of what we're producing every year. And basically, my whole point of bringing those numbers up is we're not going to have a democracy or a strong union if we're not in a productive economy. There's not that much supply side economy. And any money that we're bringing in is going towards paying down debt. And that debt is very important because a large part of that debt is, like you were saying, Brendan, earmarking financial packages to third world countries where corruption exists on both sides of the aisle. On top of that, you have that disastrous Obamacare policy that gives illegal migrants free health care and pretty much doesn't even give them a need to even leave the country. And also, the thing that I think Senator Kennedy was getting at was the same thing that Trump was getting at back during March. They have so many different useless programs at the federal level. That's exactly why Trump implemented Doge. That's exactly why I personally feel half the country is sick of Democrats, because all they do is promise shit to a certain population, while the rest of the population gets excluded from tasting that package. And you see this time after time after time again. And I think Russ Vought, Trump, J.D. Vance, Mike Johnson, all of them got together over the last few years and figured out, you know what? There's a lot of fraud in the EDD system. There's a lot of fraud in the unemployment insurance system. There's a lot of fraud in the Medicare system where the doctors and physicians bill insurance providers. We need to get to the bottom of this. There's a lot of fraud in the H-1B system in terms of letting in new legal immigration as well. And I think overall what they're trying to do is crack down on bad actors so that this benefits the next generation of Americans. And even if people say Trump is corrupt, et cetera, this is the first time, like a lifetime, that we actually have a government that's trying to reduce spending, trying to reduce useless financial packages. And I haven't seen that during Obama's time. I haven't seen that during Biden's time. I haven't seen that during Trump's first administration. Really, the only president I believe that ever balanced our books was Bill Clinton when he signed that NAFTA deal and they made some Congress bills to get passed. And I think
whoa. You said Bill Clinton balanced the budget?
I believe he was the only president that was
the
like
last president
close
to balance the budget was Andrew Jackson. Bill Clinton created all types of pork by giving all types.
But that was my overall point. It's like Democrats in general like to create a lot of pork. And one of the last example I give is Zohran Mamdani in New York City. Their party is so down bad that they're willing to vibe with the socialists, vibe with somebody that wants to stabilize rent prices, vibe with somebody that wants to cut down grocery costs, vibe with somebody that literally yesterday he had a picture with the Muslim imam that was part of the 1993 World Trade Center bombings. And I just feel like, how can we in America support policies and politicians who are so anti-American? And I think really that's what Trump's banking on. And I think that's really why, if you really look at the market, the stock market, if you really talk to business leaders, they're not that scared about tariffs anymore. They're not that scared about this government shutdown anymore. S&P broke 2% today, this morning, upside of 2% today. And I just feel like we have to be fiscally conservative. We have to reduce burden of debt on this nation so that it benefits the next generation. And speaking more broadly too, our currency was fucked during COVID. And I think really just taking these measures now in terms of lowering our budget, in terms of shutting down the government to become more fiscally conservative, as well as reducing federal interest rates. I think all of this is really what Republicans stand for. This is what we campaign for. And me as a conservative voter, and I know Brendan as well, we're not being adversely affected at all day to day. In fact, I can even speak. I'm a U.S. citizen. I struggled to get jobs the last 2 years, and I'm on a final round interview for a $100,000 plus position. In the last couple of years, all the positions that I was really going after, they were going to students on the H-1B visa, students on the OPT visa, or DEI females or DEI Mexican
And
kids.
now as an American under Trump, you have
Exactly. And now I'm
access to
actually
that
close to getting
job.
this like awesome job at like a tobacco company in finance and corporate finance. And I just
Okay.
feel like that's my overall point. I like this president. I like what he's doing. And I'd love to hear what the other guy has to say in terms of why he's so delusional for Kamala Harris.
Let's let Leandre go. You said a lot. All right, Leandre, go ahead, man. Why is this Trump's fault?
No, you said why is this Trump's fault as far as like the government shutdown?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's due to the fact that he's making healthcare cuts which would basically affect a lot of Americans, millions of Americans who are of work, who are working class. And the fact that this conservative dude is basically just kind of overlooking that and making it seem like Trump is actually doing a really good job in terms of serving for the people lets me know that he is not just Trump deranged, but he's MAGA, delusionally MAGA. And I can't really get down with somebody who's willing to basically say that somebody who is basically just affecting people's livelihoods right now, that he's somehow going to, be, the one that's just going to save everybody. That's just not how it's turning out right now.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So when you say it's going to cut health care for millions of legal Americans, right? Explain how that's going to happen.
Well, according to what I've looked up, and it's not about liberal or conservative, just independent media, this is going to affect millions of people, and it has affected millions of people even within the government shutdown. I mean,
tell me how it's going to affect them. Tell me how.
It's changing work requirements for different types of people. I think in terms of Medicaid, it's also causing people to not get the type of healthcare they need, especially if they need it. Like, in other words, it definitely impacts special ed children. It definitely impacts the elderly and people who have severe health conditions.
Listen,
and it ups the premiums. It ups the healthcare premiums as well.
Tell me how it impacts it. I need a little bit more than you, because I could say, yeah, it impacts monkeys in the Congo, gorillas in the freaking forest of freaking Africa. You got to tell me how this impacts them, or you're just saying stuff to get an emotional response. And as you're talking, I'm gonna pull out my healthcare, because everybody is everybody's signing up right now. So this is my healthcare package for my job, right? I just opened the envelope. So I'm not going to show you where I work, but this is it right now. So I got to opt in or opt out. So like most working Americans, I get healthcare through my job. Nothing is going to change.
Your situation is anecdotal. It's not the rule. Okay, this is why I want to break it down like this. Okay, the reason why it impacts people, because they said it's loss of coverage. Millions could lose insurance due to expiring ACA tax credits, stricter Medicaid rules, and new immigration restrictions. Work requirements, new or frequent community engagement requirements for Medicaid could cause people to lose coverage if they don't meet the mandates. even if they are working, and then
It could.
higher
It
costs,
could.
out of pocket costs. Yeah.
Okay. So right now, ACA is crushing people. So basically, what you're saying is, it's gonna stop giving free health care to people who work.
You said free healthcare to
Yeah,
people who work.
because that's what it's currently doing. It's saying, hey, you're working whatever. You're an illegal immigrant. You just walk in the doctor, and American taxpayers
It never
pay
said
for you.
anything about illegal immigration. It just
Yes,
said
it
new
does.
immigration restrictions.
No.
No.
Yes, it does. You're wrong on that. It
No.
does.
Also, too, even when you talk about immigrants getting health care, they have limited health care
No, they
access.
don't.
They
No, they
can't
don't.
get. They cannot get Medicaid and
They go
Medicare.
straight.
Say that's
They go.
that's how much you know. So
They go straight to the. Listen, man. I know a lot more about
most of
immigrants.
them don't benefit from the
Listen.
the type of programs that you think they
Listen,
benefit
man.
from.
If you go to the emergency room in California,
Yeah, the emergency care. Yeah, that's
yeah. So what?
the only thing they could benefit from,
So
but not
what
the
they do?
Medicaid and the
So
Medicare you're talking about.
so what they do is, instead of going to the doctor because they have to pay, they go to the emergency room and the taxpayer pays for them. Which the emergency care is way more expensive than the preventative or primary care. So they say,
So
oh,
are
it's
you
an
saying that they
emergency.
shouldn't have access to emergency health care?
They shouldn't have
They're
access
fucking
to
illegal.
they shouldn't have access to shit. They should have access to Mexico, Honduras, Venezuela, where they're from. That's what I'm trying to tell you. At the end of the day, hold on real quick. Hold on, pieces. Hold on. What I'm trying to tell you is, I don't give a fuck about these people's health care. I don't. Because the more they get free, the more that costs me. So you keep talking about the rising cost, not realizing that's what's truly making the cost rise is us having to carry millions of people who should not be here. You weren't watching the show when I explained to you that California spends $12 billion providing free health care to illegal immigrants. It's literally in our state budget. Don't talk about rising costs when we could have a $12 billion windfall if we simply cut these people off the system and sent them back. Now, I want to read this real quick. And Amos, I would love for you to come up here, because aren't you some type of medical person? But let me read this to you real fast. So this is AI. Are Democrats trying to give immigrants free health care? Based on recent news reports and health policy analysis, Democrats are not trying to give free, full scope health care to all immigrants residing in the U.S. Now look at the play on words. Are Democrats trying to give immigrants free health care? I didn't ask, are Democrats trying to give free, full scope health care to illegal immigrants, right? So they say they're not trying to give this free, full scope health care. But if you just scroll down right here, it basically reveals the truth. So it says here's a breakdown of what Democrats are supporting regarding immigrant health care, distinguishing between federal and state level initiatives, right? Boom, right here. Undocumented immigrants remain ineligible for federal programs, right? So they won't be able to get free health care through federal programs, but they will be eligible. Wait, but they will be eligible to receive billions of dollars in health care from state programs. So the federal government won't fund them, but the state government that you also pay taxes to will fund them. And that's why I just told you California budgets $12.4 billion for illegal immigrant health care. The federal government cut those funds, of which the federal government provided $1 billion. Now, California is still spending $12.4 billion. They're just getting all the money now from the taxpayers in their state. So this affects you even more, because it's not like all of America pooling in to pay for it, right? It's just your state and the people within that state. So look at this. Federal law, which Democrats have not proposed to change. Of course they're not. The Democrats want to change state law. Prohibits undocumented immigrants from enrolling in federal programs like Medicaid, Medicare, or the ACA marketplace, right? Now look right here. Emergency Medicaid. undocumented immigrants can still receive reimbursement through emergency Medicaid for hospital visits related to medical emergencies. So look, on the surface, they are ineligible for Medicaid, right? But if the state declares a state of emergency, an immigration emergency, then they can be allowed to receive emergency Medicaid for hospital visits related to medical emergencies. Now, let me explain to you how this works and why they're able to do this. If you go to another country, almost every country on earth has an emergency system for health care for people who come from abroad. There was a example of a kid, if you watch the documentary by Michael Moore, the Canadian. It's called Sicko. It talked about this white kid. He was an American. He was in London. He was in Europe. He was riding a skateboard. He fell. He hit his head on the ground. The NHS, which is the health service of Britain or the UK, United Kingdom, they took him to the emergency room. When he was in the emergency room, they found that he had a humongous brain tumor in his head, right? He was provided service for free because there's an emergency medical system for people who are inside of that country who are not citizens. So what the Democrats are doing is he was just there on vacation though, right? So what the Democrats are doing is they're taking the allowances that the United States makes for people who may be visiting from abroad to receive care in the event of a true emergency, and they are applying that to people who are illegal immigrants in this country who have no plan on leaving. They're literally abusing a program that was never meant for that. But you guys don't want to look at this beyond the surface level. So you're like, oh, they're not asking. Right here, look. Undocumented immigrants can still receive reimbursements through emergency Medicaid for hospital visits related to medical emergencies as required by the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. However, this is limited to emergency care and is not a comprehensive health plan.
Correct.
That's why I just told you, if you come to a state like California with a lot of illegal immigrants, if you go to the emergency room, that's all that's up in there for all types of little frivolous illnesses exploiting our healthcare system. And they are being treated for free. But it's not really free because the taxpayers have to pay that money. It's reimbursed through taxes. The hospital sends the bill to the federal government, the state government, and the federal government too, because it is federal. That's where the reimbursement gonna come from, the Fed, and they send that to the federal government, and the federal government reimburses it because that's what the law states. But it was not meant as a treatment option for people who are living in America. You're supposed to get treated. You good, right? Go back to where you from, and you follow up and handle everything there. They're not going back to where they're from. They're staying here and they're living here. Now, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I mean, I'm not for illegal immigration in any way or anything like that. But I feel like in terms of
illegal immigrants, do you support?
No, I don't. Don't gaslight me into no shit, bro.
I'm simply
not the time
asking
for
you. I'm simply asking you. Do you support this?
I don't support everything about it. I don't support everything about it. So I'm not saying that is right for them to do everything in that type of way. But I would say, okay, I'll ask you this though. How do you think they should actually get documented then? Because the immigration process is very difficult.
They shouldn't get documented. They should get returned to where they came from, and then apply.
But what if they want to get documented? What if they want to get naturalized in the country?
Then they should return to where they came from and apply to be legally accepted into this country.
It's not like immigrants haven't actually paid into the system too, because back in 2022, I think they said they paid billions of dollars into the taxpayer system.
I don't care.
So don't try to make it seem like they're just benefiting all from this country.
Listen, I don't care what they paid into. They are not even supposed to have access to our market to earn money. You can't go anywhere in the country, in the world, and just start working. I think the only place you can do that is two places that I know of, Australia and Dubai, where you can go with no work visa and just start working. You can't even go to Africa and work, bro. You can't even go to Africa and get a job. They'll deport you because you're taking an opportunity from an American citizen. Let me read this real quick. The Emergency Medical Treatment Act, EMTALA, is a federal law that requires hospitals with an emergency department to provide a medical screening, examination, and stabilizing treatment to anyone seeking care, regardless of their insurance status or ability to pay, right? It also mandates that hospitals must provide an appropriate transfer to another facility if they are unable to stabilize a patient's emergency medical condition. A violation can result in penalties for both the hospital and physicians, including fines and exclusion from Medicare. This was something that was put in place to protect American citizens, but it is being abused to offer illegal immigrants free health care. They can never be turned away, and their bill will be paid by American taxpayers. This is the federal law, and the states are attempting to exploit it. And because Donald Trump is putting an end to that, they will make you suffer. Is that adding up for you?
But he's also affecting other people who are citizens. So explain that as well.
How is he affecting you?
Because everyday citizens are saying that they're getting their benefits cut from this whole thing that's happening right now.
Bro,
there have been people reporting these things saying that they are going to get their benefits cut, or that they are afraid of getting their benefits cut.
Everyday citizens have been complaining about their health care since Obama first put ACA into law, right? So what is new about that? People are going to complain about their medical coverage. That's what they do. What I'm telling you is Donald Trump shit that ain't even been signed is not impacting anyone's medical insurance benefits, but they're still complaining. So that's never going to stop. But that doesn't mean we have to let people exploit us just because we don't want to hear some people complain. Yep. You have to start fixing the problem for the problem to be fixed. I'm not going to let my water in the bathroom, I'm not going to let the toilet overflow and ruin the carpet and the floors in the whole house because I don't want to go without water for a couple of hours while they shut it off to fix the issue. That's what we're doing. We don't want to, we've let the liberals get us in this bad position financially, but we don't want to feel any pain as the situation is corrected. Yes, if you want to get out of debt, you're going to have to go without some things. But we're never going to get out of the situation if we just keep on just giving everyone what they want. Because eventually, this bitch going to look like the UK and Canada where you dying from cancer because you can't even get a doctor's appointment to see what's wrong with you. That's what
we'll say that to the people in Cancer Alley, Louisiana.
Look, but they're choosing to live there.
They're not choosing to live there.
They can move to any state in the.
How do you know they can move there? How do you know they can move from that area?
Get up and leave. What's stopping them?
They might not have the money to do it. See, that's what I'm saying. This is why I don't like conservatives, because conservatives always look at the world from a one-size-fits-all perspective. They have a very narrow view of the world. They don't look at nuance.
Listen, man, I have family members who jump up and move from state to state every damn month.
But how do you know that they can get out of that area?
All they got to do is leave.
It's not that simple.
Listen, when they banned abortion in Georgia, the women found a way to get to North Carolina to get them abortions. People do what they want to do, Leandre, and you know that.
That's anecdotal. That is not the rule.
This is the nature of people. If there's something that you really need or want, you will migrate to go get that thing. You're not a prisoner. You have freedom of movement in the United States of America. There are shelters all over the United States. Hey, I'm not trying to die from cancer. I'm leaving this damn town.
But why the fuck would they have those plants in the first place there giving people cancer? That's what we need to look at.
Because those plants do more good than harm because they provide energy.
No.
So that listen, okay, so
that's a fucking lie, bro.
So let's stop providing energy to that part of the United States, because some people got cancer because they're living under the right next to the refinery.
They need
and under the
cleaner
power
energy. They
lines.
need cleaner energy that's not going
That's
to
a
affect
long
them
term.
health wise.
That is
See,
a
that's what I'm saying.
long.
That's that white supremacist
You could
corporate
also
bullshit.
you could also
Hold
go
on.
live in China
Hold on real
and
quick.
deal with
Hold on
the
real quick.
smog population.
No. That's neither here nor there.
Y'all don't
What
want to admit that America's
Leandre,
screwed is fucked up
Leandre,
because of
Brandon, can I
people like
just ask this
you
guy one
and your
question?
people.
hold on.
I just want to ask this guy one question. That's
Hold on.
it.
Wait. Listen. Understand, Leandre. These are long-term goals, long-term problems, right? But what I'm telling you is there's an answer for that. But the answer to that is not giving illegal immigrants free health care. Every penny we waste on illegal immigrants, right? Every penny we waste on illegal immigrants is money that we could be using to fix those issues. $12 billion that we spent to provide illegal immigrants free health care could be going to help those people in Cancer Alley. Do you understand?
But why did he drop the case then? Why did he drop the case for Cancer Alley? Or his administration dropped the case
you
for
can
that?
keep saying why. What are you talking about? He just got back in presidency. Why didn't Biden fix it?
I thought that was under Trump's administration.
Okay, whether it was or not, why did I have to do research on it?
And then why are even white farmers even complaining about the fact that they're not getting as much?
You can ask why all you want to. There's a million whys. What I'm doing is dealing with the things we could change right now by not approving that, but by not capitulating to Democrats, not giving immigrants free health care, and then that money can be spent on something better. Pieces will ask your question.
What you mean, like the military, so that way we can just go at war with people?
Yeah, like the military. Pieces will go ahead and ask your question, and then we're going to Skywalker.
So, Leandre, my only question is, you're complaining about the work requirements when there's a lot of single moms out there that don't even have a job but abuse the SNAP EBD benefit system. And a lot of these illegal immigrants, they take money from under the table when they go do these jobs, these labor jobs, and they don't even have a social security number to go file for taxes every April, like me or yourself or Brandon does every April when tax filing time comes. So, like, why are you so sympathetic to this group of people that you have no connection to, no relation to? And in their households, they have like 6 children, 8 children, and you'd be lucky if one of them is successful. And the other 5 or 6 are living off the benefits, living off the federal fiscal programs that are already in place. And if you just put yourself in their shoes, and if Leandre were to go down to Mexico, do you really think if you were to be a legal immigrant in Mexico, that you'd have the same opportunity as the illegals that are here in America have? Like, they would chop you up, they would kill you, like, they wouldn't even let you assimilate. Like, that is a third world country, a narco state, and you're being sympathetic towards the worst of the worst that they're sending to Los Angeles and other places. And
why are you putting words in my mouth?
Let him answer the question.
Because you're so sympathetic.
Just let him answer the question.
I'm not sympathetic to no
you
illegal
are,
immigrants.
bro.
You're putting words in my fucking mouth, bro.
P-Sizzle. It was a question. Leandre, answer the question.
All right. Okay. I'm not being sympathetic to illegal immigrants because the thing is that I'm against illegal immigration. My thing is that I don't believe in dehumanizing people, even in regards to that. I think a lot of times you conservatives, y'all are so content with this whole idea of us versus them, and you demonize every immigrant without actually trying to look at the nuance within the situation. Like, y'all try to say, oh, they're just bad people. And I'm like, look, we as black people, we barely get shit here too. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we barely get anything.
You should advocate for those black people instead of crying like a whiny bitch about illegal immigrants. Like, nobody cares about them. Like, why do you care about them so much?
Well, listen, we got to let Skywalker, he explain what he had to say. Leandre, I'm just muting you because you got a little bit of background noise. Hey, no matter what he says, even if we gave it to single mothers on welfare, they could get more if we just got rid of the spending on illegal immigrants. They're citizens. I don't mind taking care of them, but what I do mind is taking care of a bunch of people who are not citizens of this country. Go ahead, Skywalker.
Yeah, I was tapping on that. It was a different few subjects, but I got lost because I was listening to different things. But I did jump on here to say salute to the channel, salute to Brandon. But Brandon, you do take certain things and kind of like put a twist to it. But you do have to realize not everybody is able to jump up and just leave. It costs $109 to jump on a Greyhound. So what you gonna do? Tell your family member just okay, something's going wrong. jump on a Greyhound, jump on a bus, go move out to Texas and Houston and figure it out. No, it's no way that you
People are
can do
doing
that.
that.
You have kids and you have people have tried it and did it, but what happens to them? They end up messed off pretty bad. You know what I mean? So it's like I get what you're saying. It is easy if you have the cool and disconnect and get out of the area, but other than that, if not, you can't.
I mean, I feel like the people that I know and people who really want to leave and go places, they move just fine. I mean, shit, you could catch a Greyhound. You know, you can get on a bus, whatever, and go to another state, but you do your research. Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has a cell phone. You can look up shelters. Hey, can I go to this place? I'm saying if you're at the point where you're at risk of catching cancer from living in Cancer Alley, which Leandre brought up to try to appeal to emotions and tug at our heartstrings, you will get from out of that situation by any means necessary. Because Cancer Alley is just one area within a state. You can just move out of that area. That's all I'm saying. But you're not going to stand in the way of progress. They will always have cancer-causing refineries and power, power plants and stuff because that's you need energy to make progress. One monkey or a few monkeys don't stop no show. So it's on you to take personal accountability and get out of there. But to speak to Leandre's point, what I would tell you, Leandre, is this: if they made a fund, if they said, Brandon, we want to take this money that we're spending on the illegal immigrants in California, which is $12.4 billion on their free health care. We're going to deport them all or just cut them off of free health care. We then can take that money and reallocate it, and we'll put that $12 billion into a fund to help families who live in Cancer Alley relocate to other states or other neighborhoods fully subsidized by the American taxpayer. I would vote for that. I would support that. Would you support that, Leandre?
I mean, that's if hypothetically if that was the case, but we know that's not going to
No,
happen.
I'm
Even
simply
if that money
wait,
gets,
wait, you fast talking. If that was something that was brought to your table, would you support that?
yeah, hypothetically, I mean, but we know that's
Okay.
not realistic
Okay.
under this
No,
administration.
see, that's what I'm telling you. It is very realistic. But the way they got your mind set up is let's make it seem like it's impossible so he'll never see the reality. You could do that today. California, the Democrats could say, you know what? We're not going to vote to give free health care to illegal immigrants. What we're going to do is take that money that we were wasting on them and we're going to use it to take preventative measures by relocating people who live in Cancer Alley. We could do that today. Why is that impossible, bro? It only can't happen because the party that you support won't allow it to happen. That's it. You could put a GoFundMe together and get people to donate money to move people from Cancer Alley to safer locations. But we waste so much damn money. I don't think there's a single person who would be against that. It's called reallocation of funds. That's what Donald
but do
Trump
you
is trying
think
to
this
do.
administration is going to reallocate the funds to Cancer Alley to fix the problem?
Why wouldn't they? If you bring it to Trump's attention, I'm sure he'd be down for it. They give money to all types of other stuff. Listen, you're dealing with an administration or a president that has done more things that people never thought he would do than any other president in history. Usually, from what I'm gathering from Trump, is that if you bring something to his attention, you bring it to his desk, and it makes sense and it helps Americans, he's usually down for it. I would way rather spend $12 billion helping Americans remain cancer free than giving it to illegal immigrants. I don't think P Sizzle. Let me ask P Sizzle. P Sizzle, unmute.
Yep.
Would you be down with the idea of reallocating the money that we waste trying to give illegal immigrants free health care and letting them exploit our system? Would you be down to reallocate that to helping to relocate families who live in Cancer Alley?
Yeah, I mean, I would love that, and the amount of surplus we create, it can tackle the veteran problem that with veterans, their issue to like acclimate with life back in the country. We could deal with the homeless problem, and especially with the homeless problem, you have a lot of Black people being affected by that in cities like Charlotte, L.A., Philadelphia, New York City, and I just feel like when you have this much surplus in the system, and also economic productivity, which is going to come under Trump, we can put that money to use, and it can come in a lot of different creative ways too. Like people don't even need to leave Cancer Valley. Like we can put more healthcare systems in there, raise our state taxes to put more hospitals in there, relocate some of these petrochemical plants as well. But my overall, like what I like to say is you should not be against these companies building and profiting within the American domestic boundaries, just because that's going to help help that we're going to be the ones that are going to stand to gain from that, whether it be our community growing, whether it be more income, whether it be more profits for our stocks. And my biggest criticism of Biden in relation to energy was when he closed down that Keystone National Pipeline deal, that was supposed to run through North Dakota, Canada, with a lot of oil flowing through that Keystone National Pipeline. That had a direct effect on our energy prices as we were funding the war in Russia and Ukraine. They were both adversely affected our energy prices on top of the inflation that was caused by COVID. But yeah, like getting back to the point, always pro helping our citizens if it means allocating money away from illegals towards our citizens. And I actually didn't know what Cancer Valley was, so I had to look it up. But it seems like a large stretch of land in Louisiana, Mississippi, where a lot of factories are, where there's a lot of people that end up getting cancer, and the water is really polluted. And I get that, like there are parts like that across the country where there's like large factories and corporations that pollute contaminants. However, if those corporations and factories were not there in the first place, all those people will be doing is farming. Um, and there, I don't think that alternative is better by any means.
Okay, yeah, and here's the thing with like conservatives: if you bring something to our attention, we'll look at it and kind of say, okay, well, there's a solution. But if we're cash strapped because we giving money to people who aren't even citizens, how do we fix it? How do we fix it? I see what's going on here, Cancer Alley. It looks like they just need to get out of these cities that are right there. Maybe you just make that area a wildlife preserve, something like that, and you just get people out of there, and only people who want to go in there and work, come in and out of there. I have a friend who lives down in there named Darvid. Shout out to bro. He had an accident at work and got hurt. So shout out to him. But this whole situation is totally fixable. But guess what? Our federal government is spending billions of dollars dealing with people who are not even supposed to be in the country. Even the money that is being spent to send ICE into these cities and states because the state and city governments refuse to cooperate with the federal government. Even that money that's being wasted could be allocated towards helping deal with these people, this situation in Cancer Alley. But I promise you, every single person living in Cancer Alley, I promise you, I bet you they're Democrats. I bet you. And I bet those cities are run by Democrats. And I bet you those Democrats are like, look, nah, we rather just complain about the problem than actually fix it. Because
Louisiana is a red state, though.
we understand that, but we know in the place where black people live, they're Democrat run. Stop it. The fact
Red
that you
states
even
typically are more
e-
poor
even
as
if you
well, too.
try even if you
Just by
tried that,
statistics.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Poor, rich, whatever. What rich black people you talking about? Even in the blue states, because all the black folks is running to the red states, as poor as they are. Black
And,
folks are
And Brandon, all I say is like if Trump clamps down on the benefits, this is amazing news for black men because it's going to return black men into the household and have a singular family unit. Because for many generations after FDR, a New Deal and a lot of these policies, like it's removed the black man from the household because the women can attach themselves to these EBT food stamp programs and don't really need a man in the house. And I think really
yeah.
like if these benefits are clamped down, like this is good for black people in
Real quick,
general.
real quick. We're gonna get KJ in here and let's get his opinion. But I want to real quickly, Andre. I have a video here. We're in Mexico right now, and the Mexicans are fighting against the illegal immigrants who are trying to enter into their country. Why is it that they can fight against illegal immigration, but we can't? Get out, Hondurans. We don't want you here. Hold on 1 second, KJ. Hold on. You are not welcomed here. A traitor is not welcomed in Mexico. Right now, there are detention centers in the United States. What the hell does that have to do with Mexico? She's a pro-immigration activist, right? They're everywhere, right? But obviously, they're usually getting paid by somebody. So she wants to let Hondurans into Mexico. But the majority of the Mexicans, they ready to fight her and beat her up because they like, we don't want them here.
Que la paz esté contigo, amigo. Que la paz esté contigo. Bendiciones en tu camino.
She said, peace be with you. I could have swore I heard her do say F you.
¡No queremos!
Fam, they not having it. So, Leandre, why do we have to accept that when they own people won't accept them over there?
Did I say they have to accept it?
I'm saying why
I didn't say that.
we have to accept it.
I didn't say you had to.
Yes, you did. You were like, oh, but what about them? What about the people who want to be here and all that? What about them? I don't even know why you bring that up to me.
Well, some people do want to be here legally.
A lot of people want a lot of shit. Do that mean they automatically get it?
And also, too, I mean, we as black people are barely citizens ourselves, too, because under the Constitution, they considered us 3/5 of a fucking human being.
Are you
It's not. I'm not trolling. I'm not trolling.
You got.
I'm not trolling
right now. Why did you bring?
It's the damn truth.
What do black people have to do with anything? Any of this?
We barely are fighting for our citizenship here still to this day, bro.
No, we're not. We're fully initiated citizens.
Oh, you think so? And you think we're free too? You think we're all the way free?
100%.
Y'all, okay. All right. Suit yourself. If you think we're free.
Tell me, what in America, because the 14th Amendment made us full citizens in this country. Tell me real quick, and this will be the last question I ask you. What are you being prevented from doing in America? Since you're not free, what endeavor is like are you excluded from in America?
Well, not me specifically, but I know other black folks are in certain places.
Name them.
I don't know the names, but I would say in certain states like Texas, like Mississippi, certain southern states.
How are they excluded? How are they being inhibited?
They're being suppressed by not being able to vote in certain places, not being able to get certain civil rights. No, I'm not trolling. This is actually what's happening.
How are their votes being suppressed?
No, don't even ask. Don't even listen.
Our votes are being suppressed in certain places. Even here in North Carolina, they had a voter suppression issue here as far as voter ID.
How did they suppress? So you don't have an ID?
I do. I mean, I'm not talking about myself, but I know certain people probably in North Carolina.
What black person don't got an ID?
We have a liberal governor in North Carolina, by the way, and there's no suppression because I'm from North Carolina.
Y'all both
Which
from
part
the
of North
same
Carolina
place.
are you from?
I'm
It don't
from
matter what part.
Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, born and raised here my whole
Oh,
life.
yeah, I'm from the
I
same area too. Yeah,
Hey, and on top
yeah,
of
same
that,
area, Winston.
a lot of these liberal cities have no voter ID, so anybody can just go and vote. So what is he talking about?
Hold on real quick. Hold on. So listen, that he didn't know
You can
that
say
P.
that about the
Sizzle.
red states
Hold on,
too.
Leandre. Hold on, Leandre. So he didn't know that P. Sizzle was from the same state and same area as him. So how do two black men in the same area have two totally polar opposite viewpoints? Because one black man wants to play victim and the other one wants to have autonomy and bet on himself and have his own individual effort reward. He wants to be rewarded based on his effort. That's all it is, y'all.
Are
This
you
is
sure
just a
P.
mind.
Sizzle is
Hold on.
black?
Listen.
I'm not black,
Hold,
but
He's a man just like you, though.
hold on. This whole thing. But real quick, come here real quick. Come here real quick, Samir. Listen.
You sure he's not like one of those Hicks, one of those Dixiecrats? But anyway, like
I'm Asian, by
Dixiecrats
the
are
way.
Democrats.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. How old are you?
16.
Do you have a California identification card?
Yes.
My 6-year-old daughter got an ID, dog. You can't tell me that it's impossible for Negroes to get an ID. Stop with that. That is such the lamest shit I ever heard.
They still
6-year-old
act.
got an ID, but a grown person can't go get an ID. Stop with the Democrat tropes, man.
They still acting like they have to count marbles in a jar. Like it's ridiculous, and it's like a whole bunch of victims. It's like, and then anything they can say, and it's all of they just all hate Trump. It's like no matter what the dude is doing, they just hate Trump. Like you got people in California siding with illegal immigrants. They don't want the National Guard there, but these are the same people that are complaining about the Hispanics taking over their neighborhoods.
No, let me tell you, I live in California, right? The same black people out here trying to fight against Trump for illegals are the same black people who complain when they go to the job and the Mexicans gang up on them and get them fired.
Exactly.
So that they can hire illegals.
And then they say,
Go ahead, KJ.
nah, bro, it's just like, and then they always talk about we need more money. No, you don't need more money. You guys are horrible at managing the money that you do have. If you look at these states like Boston, like California, like Chicago, like San Francisco, like Oakland, all these places that are ran by these people of color, when that's they're horrible at managing the money and budgeting the money, and then on top of that they keep saying people of color don't have any power, but then all those cities are ran by black people as well.
100%.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, let me get my brother Financial Front. What you got another? This obstacles to opportunity. We gonna call you what we do Financial Front.
Yeah,
go ahead, my brother. You got it.
No, very interesting conversation, but I would say at least let's go from the construct of what the gentleman was saying, possibly saying like, hey, look, people are stopping us from voting. Let's say that's true. I believe all people of all countries and citizens of their own country have issues like that. So that doesn't invalidate your citizenship. It just means you have internal issues. Every country does. China, Africa, different countries in Africa. So I don't think that negates you being a citizen just because we have political issues and turmoil within the country. So you just got to remember that. That's a part of life. If you're a man, then you fight for it and you still take the opportunities that are laid out before you. There's no excuses. You either sink or swim. And that's just how it is in the world. But shout outs to the Mexicans. I just want to go back to that video because it shows that, again, everybody's like that. Japan just enacted a couple of things against foreigners. Like people are very xenophobic across the world, period. So I don't know where we get this humanistic idea in America that we should allow people just to continuously stomp on our laws. If you did that in any country, they would have you deleted.
The thing is, I don't mind someone coming here to visit, or even if you want to become a legal citizen. But the fact that America is like looked at like we're the bastard stepchild who deserves to get abused You don't got to let nobody abuse you, man. And in this country, people use the word abused or abuser like it's going out of style. You got illegal immigrants murdering your women. They can't even run around safely. They literally opened up the prisons from South American countries and the mental institutions and let those people come over here without no type of vetting system. It wasn't done right. It was a malicious attack against the American citizen. And now we're trying to clean house and correct it. And you got dudes like Leandro, like, oh, but what if they, like, bro, like, what? It doesn't matter what they want. They
And if,
violated America, and that needs to be corrected. And then we
and then
can
if
talk about some legal citizenship. Go ahead.
And then if you think about it even more specifically, it was a direct attack on the black community. Like they didn't put these people in these, they dropped them right in the heart of the black communities. They put a whole bunch of foreign speaking people with a whole completely different culture right in the middle of black people neighborhoods. And because they knew it would cause chaos, them importing all these people into America was a Democrat play. So now they can say they're invading neighborhoods of color. Well, that's where they put all the people at.
And what you got to understand with African Americans, the reason we support this nonsense ain't even for the reasons that like a white liberal supports it. We have already had a community that's been in chaos for decades, and we suffer from a crazy level of like suffer from a communal identity disorder. That's the problem with us. So
Right, because
we
black
don't
people don't look at
value
themselves as Americans.
we don't value who we are, right? That's the issue. We don't value who we are. We spend all our time trying to be somebody else. Like Yali Sheba, she thinks she's a character in a Hebrew comic book, right? She don't see the pride in herself as a black woman that came from Africa and comes from a long lineage of like great people, right? She's like, I don't value that. So this shit that my slave master forced on me, that's what I am, right? So then she says, just because you didn't experience oppression doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Lady, you are oppressing
She's
yourself
right.
mentally. You're oppressing yourself mentally. You're older than me and don't know who you are. So I understand why what I say don't make sense to you because you spent the last years of your life trying to run away from who you are genetically, ethnically, and all that stuff. So I get that. But don't tell me about oppression. I grew
Yeah,
up in the hood just like most other black folks. But when I
facts.
educated myself, traveled the world, which I'm sure you haven't done, I learned what the reality is versus what versus the fantasy that they keep trying to sell us. You are fully indoctrinated into fantasy, and you're trying to
And
tell me, nah, you don't understand. And I'll get that out of here. Go ahead,
it just
KJ,
seems
and then we got to go to
it
streets.
it seems like black people are literally going backwards. They go from we want to mix with the white people, we want to be part as one, we want to be all in this, and now you got black people trying to say no, leave us alone, and you know what I'm saying? And then like for instance, you go to places like Shreveport or whatever, and the white people said, okay, we just gonna leave and we gonna start our own community. Then black people talk about, well, you can't leave us. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't even know what they want. They don't know what's good for them. These are the same people that have been voting Democrat for since the 60s, when before that they were all Republicans. And now all of a sudden they're voting for the same party that been fighting to keep them oppressed for the longest. It's just don't make sense to me.
Let me get this comment real quick. I literally have a father-in-law with the last name Israel that went to the White House. Lady, do you know we got our last names from our slave owners? That don't mean nothing for you. A black person last name literally has no black American's last name literally has very little to do with where he descended from. Understand that. It's mostly has to do with whatever trade your slave owner was good at or whatever trade he taught you or you adopted that name. You took that name on when you came out of slavery and it was a lot of religious people, black people coming out of slavery, so they took a lot of biblical names. Or your slave owner could have been very religious and named you something biblical. Or your mama could have been very religious, didn't know who your daddy was, and threw you two names out of the Bible. That is literally pure bullshit what you said. Like, you came from Africa. There's no Israelites in Africa, bro, until the recent advent of Hebrew Israelites and they start going over there. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with the religion. I'm just saying, when you get down to the nitty gritty, down to the base of it all, that ain't what no black person is. I would even question the other stuff. I'm not getting in trouble with these people today, but even that stuff is questionable. So yeah, you just got that. You didn't come out the womb with a Bible strapped to your ass. That was all put into you by someone who probably didn't have much knowledge of themselves anyway. I talked to my grandma. I said, when you were young, did people talk about Africa and all that stuff? She said, not really. We was just concerned with being Americans. That's a real thing. Go ahead, my brother O'Toole. You got something else to add? Oscar's opportunity.
Ooh, that's pretty interesting. So,
I hate to
especially the
do it to him.
Israel
I
stuff.
hate to go that deep on it.
Yeah, you know. But hate that I hate to do it to him. Hey, yo, man, I'll tell you what. I
Hey,
love
ain't
America.
no
I love the
language
rest.
called Hebrew. Ain't no language called Hebrew. Stop, man. You don't even know what you talking. You dealing with the wrong one, Yalishiba. You dealing with the wrong one. That's Yiddish that they speaking. That ain't Hebrew. But go ahead, my brother. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll shut up.
No. You're good. You're good. Look. I hear some people say like, "Oh man, you say there's no oppression, but I say there's oppression, and I went through it." Listen, this is what I do say. This oppression exists, of course, across the world through many different reasons. Maybe sometimes gender, race, whatever. Some people are like that. Majority, not so much in these times anymore. But even if it is, let's say it's standing and it's so, you thus must move forward. There's a fight that always needs to be fought. Every living organism knows that, from the squirrels to the apes, all the way to the human beings. And so I think a lot of people will say, well, racism, I got to stop that to do something. No, you don't. I didn't have to stop global racism in order to become a multimillionaire in the United States of America. I had to cultivate a lot of issues within me internally slowing me down, which was
Can I ask you
people
something?
telling me that.
Wait.
Go ahead, brother.
I don't want to sound like I'm coming across as like a troll or anything like that, but where does your family come from? Where do they come from?
America.
Like
Yeah.
so you don't have any immigrants in your background.
Stop.
No. No time soon that I know of.
He
Like
doesn't, bro.
10 generations.
You sure? Are you completely sure that you don't have any
DeAndre,
immigrants
I
in your
knew this dude longer than I knew you.
I just
Stop with
told
that.
you.
He just told
I'm not
you,
questioning
man.
your heritage. So let's just be men and have a conversation straight out the gate and take the word as bond. That's it. I take your word as bond. I'm not. So go ahead, continue.
We know, my brother. Go ahead, Streets. Streets, go ahead, brother. Thank you, Obstacles. Unmute yourself, Streets.
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, you sounded kind of crazy, though. You got a lot of background.
It's because I'm in my car right now, bro. It's cool. I just wanted to kind of comment on just the whole little situation, man. You asked me, I think all of this stuff is a play. Like, just like that C-19.
Flex your windows up.
I think it's like, I think it's something going on where they like testing the American people once again. Because that C-19 stuff was nothing but a big old test to see how well the people will fall in order, fall in line in a situation of chaos. And to me, it looked like their test was most likely successful. They were able to tell people what to do. They were able to tell people to go get shot and all this other stuff. And people actually complied with it.
Yeah, your sound is so wild. It's like faded out, bro. Just wait till you stop and call back.
Hey,
I don't know
hey,
what's going on
Brandon,
with
I
that.
had a point that I forgot, actually. Can I just
Go
say
ahead.
it
Yeah, go ahead.
real
Go
quick?
ahead. Yep.
Yo, one thing I was thinking, and shout out. Sometimes we say it's the Democrats, and it's not even the Democrats. I'm gonna start just putting people out on Front Street. Look, it's people. Let's just say if we're talking about blacks, it's you blacks. The Democrats is only giving you what you accept. That's it. That's why they say a politician tells you the world is a little bit around and it's a little bit flat because he's trying to appease an audience. So again, if the audience didn't have that mindset, you would seem crazy. I'll give you a great example. If the H guy, we can't say his name, but the H guy over there in Germany, if he said something that the people didn't agree with, they would look at him crazy. They would have him hung up before the night was done. But he only said what the people wanted to hear. He gave the people what they wanted. So it wasn't him We always blame one guy, some character, like he had a flute and just hypnotized the people. No, the people wanted what he wanted, and that's why they did it. It wasn't about him. He was just a vessel for the people. So again, the Democrat Party is nothing but a representation of the majority of Black people who empower them to have those type of policies, legislations, and then a woke mindset. So at the end of the day, you have to reflect on the group that's amongst you that's always supporting those initiatives. Because if he stood up and said something that was totally bogus, like let's close the borders to Black people, then he wouldn't be in power. But he don't say that. He says what you want to hear. Let's open up the borders. Let's allow everybody to come here. We're all minorities. We're oppressed. We're this and we're that. Let me get on the knee. Let me put on the dashiki. They entertain you to the way you wanted to be entertained. So instead of always blaming them, they're just, once again, the downhill. They're just a symptom. It's all you. It's all the people who always inspire that.
Well, like in the case of like Leandre Willer, right? They exploit your ignorance and your hypocrisy. This man was just making a case for illegal criminal alien migrants to be allowed to stay in the country. Hey, listen, you could get taken down. Listen, he was just making a case for illegal criminal alien migrants to stay in America, sympathizing with them, saying, what about the people who want to stay here and be American citizens? But when you, a Black man, didn't agree, express a difference of opinion, he questioned your citizen, like your validity as an American. Where you from? You ain't got no immigrant background. So in one side, you defended Hispanic illegal criminal immigrants, but then you tried to discredit my man by calling him an immigrant. So you
because the way he's talking sounds like
one side of your brain hates immigrants, and the other side sympathizes with immigrants as long as the Democrats tell you that's what you should do. Like, I don't understand how you can't see how you are, if cognitive dissonance was a person, you are the epitome of that, the living, breathing manifestation of that. You discredited a Black man by trying to insinuate that he's an immigrant, which being an immigrant is not a discrediting thing. If you're a legal immigrant in America, I'm cool with you. But on the other side, you a legal immigrant, you hate them. But then an illegal criminal immigrant, you sympathize and would be okay with them staying here. Bro, you don't know, Leandre, you don't know if you're coming or going, bro. You don't know.
Why are you putting words in my mouth, and why are you trying to twist it around and try to?
I am going off of exactly what you did.
Exactly what you said.
I didn't say anything about sympathizing with immigrants. I
you
told you that.
You said, what about the ones that want to be here permanently? You don't think that there should be some type of way they could become naturalized? You said that.
Your words.
But that's not sympathize. That's not sympathizing with illegal immigrants.
What do you call it?
No, it's not.
You're entertaining the idea
I'm saying the people that say that they want to be here, that's different than saying that, oh, I'm just for people just coming in droves without trying to get documentation. But you're twisting it around. See, this is what I'm saying. Conservatives always try to twist words around.
I never twisted nothing around that you said. Bro, you literally tried.
This is why you're gaslighting. This is why you keep muting me because
no, I'm not, because I want to say what I have to say without you interrupting me. You said you tried to discredit obstacles by labeling him as an immigrant. You literally, the conversation wasn't about lineage or nothing. He said, where your family from? You ain't got no immigrants in your family? That is a discrediting tactic. We know that.
Well, the reason why I said that was due to the fact that a lot of times when it comes to Black immigrants, I don't want to generalize all Black immigrants. When they speak like that, I always assume that they either grew up around a lot of white people or they haven't had the same lineage we had or the same.
So listen, here's how ignorant you sound.
No, I'm just saying because like that rhetoric sounds like you are in favor of white supremacy. That's what it sounds like.
You're emotional right now, bro. Because when I'm about to make my point, you're like, no, bro, that don't work, bro. Like we married, like I'm married, bro. Like stop with that dumb stuff. Listen, what I'm telling you is, if a Black person don't agree with you on every issue and basically regurgitate the shit you say. You discredit them by saying, "Oh, you must have grew up around a lot of white people. Oh, you must be an immigrant. You must be." That's not how that works, bro. That doesn't. Black people can disagree on shit.
They love to say we're not a mono. They love to say we're not a monolith, but then they continue to act like a monolith. It's insane.
But if you don't subscribe to monolithic thinking and action, you are no longer a part of the group.
So being a black conservative is a free thinker. All y'all are doing is just doing contrarian nonsense to try to like go against.
I can tell you how it's a free thinking, because if 95% of black people are always thinking and voting the same way, and then you have the little 5% that you choose to think differently and exercise different options, you're thinking freely. You're not following the crowd. You're not a sheep.
It's just contrarian. It's not free thinking, because free thinking wouldn't even be party based.
What does contrarian mean? Tell me what contrarian
meaning
means.
That you're diametrically opposed to anything that is in favor of your own people.
What does diametrically mean?
That means that you are on the other side. You're an op.
Right.
That's
so
basically
like
what it is.
So, but remember when black people were saying defund the police? So the black people they were saying, no, we don't need to defund the police. We need more police. We are opposed to black people.
What, for defunding the police?
Yeah, so black people were out there advocating to defund the police and bring in more mental health counselors. But there were very few black people that were saying, nah, we need more police. And then y'all said, you know what we were accused of? Being coons, the black face of white supremacy.
That situation, I'm not for defunding the police, so I can add the nuance in my argument.
So then,
but I think it's the other rhetoric. It's not that type of rhetoric. Sometimes it's the rhetoric like.
So then we're not diametrically
black people are
opposed.
not oppressed, or black people are playing the victim, the gaslighting. That's really what the issue is. Most black conservatives have a white supremacist narrative every time they speak.
Leandre, let me ask you a question. How does bringing 20 million illegal immigrants into America help you personally as a black man?
I didn't say it helped me personally. Did I say it helped me personally?
So why are you, for one, why are you voting for someone who's trying to do that? Two, why are you sitting up entertaining this? Oh, what if they want to be naturalized citizen? How does bringing them directly benefit your community? Do you want them out, or are you okay with letting them stay?
What you mean, illegal immigrants that don't want to get legal citizenship?
Do you want even the ones who want to get citizenship? Do you want them out, or do you want them to stay?
I mean, if it's going to impact our people, then yes, I want them out of the country.
Well, it's
do you think they impact the people or no?
I mean, they impact people. I mean,
do they impact the black community in a negative or a positive way?
Listen, Barack Obama did a study that showed that illegal immigration harms black people in a disproportionately. Black people in Chicago and different cities all over America was saying that the illegals were displacing them. They're shutting down black schools and stuff like that to let illegal immigrants use the schools as shelters and everything else.
But then you have this fool advocating for it. Makes no sense.
Why are you twisting my words? You are twisting my words around. See, that's why I said.
Stop being so reactionary, Leandre. I'm asking you a question. Do you want them out if they have a negative impact on your people? Because that is proven that they do. Do you want them
I do. I'm not saying that doesn't mean I want to be conservative.
So why? No, I'm not saying anything about conservative. So why are you supporting a party that wants to let millions more in after letting millions in over the past 4 years?
Who said I was supporting the Democratic Party all the way?
Bro, you voted Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris on The View said that she wouldn't do anything different from what Joe Biden did. And you voted for her.
But you voted for Trump, which actually caused way more chaos in the country.
Wait a minute. Trump is getting rid of the element that is hurting my people. That's why I voted for him.
Okay. By black unemployment going up. Explain black unemployment going up. Explain Cancer Alley. Explain
all races unemployment is going up. It's not just black people.
Hold on, P Sizzle. Hold on, because we're not gonna move the goalpost. We're gonna stick to the questions, or you just don't gotta be up here. We're gonna stay focused. I voted for the guy that's getting rid of the thing that's hurting my people. You voted for the woman who wanted to continue doing the thing that's hurting our people. How are you saying that you're in
When
favor of
has
helping
Kamala
blacks?
ever said that she was in favor of illegal immigration?
Kamala Harris, listen, Kamala Harris says she would not do anything different from what Joe Biden did. She could not think of a single issue that she would handle differently from Joe Biden. Joe
And she was the
Biden,
borders are.
she was the
Do you,
borders are right.
Which
do
is
you
a lie.
got do you,
And
do you
See, that's
got
why I say you're twisting words around. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Kamala Harris
Leandre,
was. Wait a
Leandre,
minute.
do you,
Hold
do
on.
you
So
So
Kamala
you're
Harris.
misinterpreting what that was.
Kamala,
She said
listen, man.
she
Stop
was looking for the
filibustering.
root of the
Stop
problem.
filibustering. Stop filibustering. Kamala Harris was appointed border czar. Biden said, "I'm appointing her my border czar." He said that
On video.
What AI video?
it's
that was not.
real.
Come on, man. Stop playing.
She got up on there and she said, "Please don't come. We are full." Didn't enforce jack shit, and she said we need to create more steps in the federal government to let them become
We
citizens.
need more pathways to citizenship. That's
Exactly.
what she was
She
advocating
said
for.
that dog shit out loud, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we're not voting for this lady. She's just deluded." Like, I don't know what Leandre is on, but
So
that
you
lady
think so
is
you think
so
immigration is
stupid.
the only issue that we're faced with in this country? Is that the only issue?
One of the biggest.
Immigration has a lot of byproducts that ultimately affect our economic system, and like the budget deficits, the debt,
Resources.
You look at the resources, the university admissions, the jobs. Like, even when you talk about the unemployment rate, the only reason it's going up is because you have DEI people getting fired from federal positions.
And then you have illegal immigrants working under the
DEI
table
is
by the
probably going to
millions.
include black people too, right?
I don't care
So I mean,
regardless. I don't care regardless, because if it's overstaffed, they're not being productive. Trump has a full authority to cut them down and to save my taxpayer money. Like, that's just as logical as it gets.
I mean, Trump even blamed one of the people who I think was a pilot. I think that crashed the plane as being a DEI hire, even though he was a white man. It's like, how the hell are you going to say that he was?
He was probably a gay white man.
Nah, they didn't confirm that. They didn't confirm. They said he was a white man.
So then, how do you know he wasn't a DEI hire?
He wasn't a DEI hire because
How do you
white
know
men are
that?
not DEI hires in this country.
If he's gay, he can be a DEI hire.
I mean, if he's gay, but they didn't confirm that. They didn't say he
So
was
how
gay
do you know he wasn't a DEI hire?
because it didn't confirm whether or not he had other
So
categories.
basically, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. You're just saying stuff.
And Leandro, since you want to go off anecdotes, Biden also said poor kids are just as talented as white kids before. So he's basically insinuating that minority kids aren't capable at the same level whites.
The point is, there's no point to continue to argue this with Leandre. This is why Donald Trump's approval rating is going up. This is why nobody wants to.
Nah, you're lying. It's fake news. It's fake news.
Yeah, I'm approving. KP from the KC. Go ahead, brother, and then we gotta go to the next topic because we're out of here in 13 minutes. Go ahead, KP from the KC.
I got a question for him. Does he think by allowing illegals in, does that drive the wages down or up?
Go ahead, Leandre. What's for you?
You said, do I think that?
Do you think that letting illegals in drives the wages up or down?
I know you want me to say drive the wages down because I know that's the answer you want me to get.
You know that's the answer. That's why you said that.
No, we don't want you to
But
say anything.
how is it linked to unemployment, black unemployment?
Man, we want you to listen, this guy operates based on what he thinks people want him to say. Just tell the truth. What do you think? Ain't nobody going to say nothing about you. Just say what you think.
Do I think that it drives the wages down?
Or up?
Or up. Well, illegal immigration, I mean, it probably drives the wages down, but that's not the only factor in unemployment, though.
It drives the wages
I don't think that's the only.
That's the only.
Okay, so do you think that black folks want to go out there picking strawberries, or picking oranges, or picking apples, or whatever?
Hold on, that's a dumb argument from him. That's a dumb argument from him.
Do not respond to that argument. That's the problem. We get baited. Listen. You're getting baited into that because that keeps the conversation circular. That's what liberals do. They always trying to run you in a circle so you can't get to no conclusion. It drives the wages down. That's all that matters. That's it. He said it does. We all know it does. And that hurts who? American
And
citizens. Go
and
ahead,
after
Chris.
And
it drops,
especially the
and
ones
after
on the low
and
end of the economic total pole, because these
yeah,
illegal immigrants come and they compete with the people on the lowest end of the economic total pole, which is who? Black
yes,
people.
yeah, and to add to that, how does he think unemployment is going to go? Is it going to go up or down if they allow the people in for black people? Is it going to go up or down?
Simply down, because there's less jobs available, but more people that want them. It's
Facts.
simple.
This is simple math, dude. I don't know. I'm glad he left. Idiot.
No, I took him down because he keeps unmuting his mic and he has like, you guys don't hear that noise like ooh ooh in the background. That makes the video impossible to
Hey,
use for like clips.
Brandon, let me say something real quick. Just about his the illegal immigrants picking our stuff. The farm equipment is very advanced. If you see the farm equipment now, all the people you need to do farming a lot of these times is a heavy duty operator license, which you can go down to some place and get help with for free. He act like you need to actually go out there and pick strawberries by hand now, or pick the oranges by hand. All they have is a little rope that shakes the tree and it takes it all down in a few seconds. All you need is a heavy equipment operator license. You can go and look at all the farming equipment, and you'll see that they're not just picking by hand anymore.
These people's opinion is totally based on watching reading a few media sources, watching a few different news programs. I learned that a long time ago. Guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take everybody down. I'm gonna cover the next two topics, and then I gotta get out of here. Thank you all for coming up. I
What about
appreciate
AI?
you. That's
Appreciate it, Brendan.
what about AI? I don't know. But guys, we haven't done that in a long time, having a conversation between liberals and conservatives. Thank you, Leandre, for being the sacrificial lamb. Because listen, we're literally running out of people who are willing to argue from that position, because the position is so indefensible. Like, you're wasting your time. Like, I debated Destiny, and Destiny was just trying to fast talk and move the goalposts like Leandre Wheeler was doing. But it's like, hey, thank you, because it allows us to make our point, right? But what I want to talk about next, and these will be our last topics. What would you believe me if I told you that Donald Trump's approval rating has actually increased following the No Kings protest? Uh, you probably wouldn't, right? Maybe I wouldn't even believe it if I didn't hear it from Communist News Network, CNN. This guy's approval rating rose. And I first heard the news from a liberal source, the Communist News Network, which is crazy because they do have one guy who does like statistics, and bro seems to be a straight shooter, going directly down the middle. He's probably one of those people who's like, I'm not gonna sacrifice my credibility for the sake of a media company. But from what I'm seeing, Donald Trump's approval rating went up. So I would love for someone to explain that. Like, I would love for someone to explain that. Like, you see so much misinformation on the internet, but when I know something is true is when CNN is forced to admit it. Because it's like, they don't ever give Donald Trump favorable news. But I noticed that this story is I feel like it's kind of being suppressed. I feel like it's kind of being suppressed. But his approval rating has risen. Why is that? Someone explain that. Can anyone explain that to me? Why are Americans following the No Kings protest? Why are they saying, hey, I mess with Trump even more now? The No Kings protests were absolute failures. They say that it's estimated that 7 million people showed up. I researched, researched, right? Could not find verification of this 7 million number. They said, oh, this is based on estimates. They say that the first No Kings events brought 5 million people out. So then they say these last No Kings events brought 7 million people out, right? My question is this: how is it success? Let's say the 7 million number is true, right? How is it that this is a success when only 10% of Kamala Harris's base showed up? She allegedly got 70 million people to vote for her. 10% of those people showed up. That's a win? Hey, Yalish Sheba, come on, girl. Are you in full psychosis? Just keep on spamming my chat with that same stuff? I told y'all, bro. These Hebrew Israelite people, they reveal how mentally sick they are. Stop spamming my chat. You post that one more time, you will be blocked. Why would you post? What level of psychosis do you have to be in to post the same comment 30 freaking times in a chat? See, it's too many facts in this show, so she has to get herself banned so she could go and say, they just didn't want to know truth. They just didn't want to know truth. No, you just start acting crazy in the chat. Listen, you asked for the debate. I saw it. Your father-in-law could hit that link just like anybody else. You're not asking. You're trying to bully. All that spamming. Look at them. Are you serious right now? Yeah, man. You put that in, you're gone. Your father-in-law is welcome to hit the link. Go wake him up. But yeah. So this is what we do. But the No Kings debate was a success. That's what they say. That's what they say. But I don't understand how people justify this. I don't see how people are like, oh man, like what they're defending doesn't even benefit them in any way, shape, or form. And when somebody is screaming for something that doesn't benefit them, I question their motives. I question their motives. Like, yeah, okay, so the mice are voting for the cat. The mice are clearly delusional. A deer walking up to a wolf. You know what? I think that deer is sick. It has rabies or something. That's what you think about people who operate in a self-destructive way. We went out to the geriatric protest. I went and drove by a bunch of times. It's just a bunch of old people out there. It's just a bunch of elderly people out there. But people think that this is, something that's worth fighting for. And the whole time, Trump is just getting more popular. People are getting more sick of this crap. People are getting sick of this mess. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to break it to you. But I want to talk real quick about this situation in Chicago where the illegal immigrants and those who support them have basically they've committed to committing treasonous acts where they've declared a ICE free zone. They don't want ICE to be able to enter certain areas of the city. Now, mind you, ICE is sent in by the federal government, so they go anywhere they want to. But the ICE free zones are direct opposition to the carrying out of federal orders. I don't understand how this benefits the American people who voted these people into office. I don't get it. But what I know is that this is an act of rebellion. You have Brandon Johnson, the increasingly unpopular mayor of Chicago. He is just he's basically abandoned his people. He's totally abandoned his people so he can engage in policy war with Donald Trump. Brandon Johnson, you're not going to outdo the president. You're not going to outdo the president. Period. You're not going to beat him out. It's just, it's a waste of the taxpayers' money. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your resources. These people are going to be deported, right? And so all these people want to work against the federal government. These people won't work for the black people who've been displaced by the illegal criminals coming into their neighborhood, but they'll work to fight against the federal government. And I continue to ask, how does this benefit you? That's why when you look at these ICE protests, you really don't even see any black people out there. It's the white folks who live in a gated community feeling they want to feel tough. They want to feel like they fighting for something. And so they leave their gated communities to go defend the poor Hispanic illegal immigrant. It's like,
joining us now, staff writer for The Atlantic, Nick Miroff. Nick, it's really good to have you. You've been doing a lot of reporting on Chicago. Your latest piece is called The Conquest of Chicago. Donald Trump is framing this, or at least began by framing this as a war. Bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, no?
I mean, I think we all remember the tweet in early August that Trump shared showing himself as Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore from the movie Apocalypse Now. And the city was, going up in flames and helicopters were flying over. And, this was the kind of way I think that the administration is viewing these operations. It's almost like a military conquest. Think about the way Trump says, we're going to go into this city. We're going to go into this city. It's something out of the way that someone in a movie script would talk about, a military campaign.
Yeah, the images that he posted look eerily like the images that we're now seeing, the AI generated images.
Right.
There is competing or two justifications that Donald Trump uses. He interchanges them. One of them is that there's so much crime in Chicago. And the other one is that he's got to fight back against illegal immigration. And the illegal immigrants are the ones that are making all this crime so much worse. Is there evidence to support that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody, including Chicago residents, wouldn't say that the city does not have a huge crime problem. And obviously, it's been one of the cities that's had the highest homicide rates in the United States for a long time. But I think it is worth noting that the homicide rate has been cut by more than half since the peak during the pandemic, and that has coincided with this period of a major immigration influx.
So they keep saying homicide rate is down. Homicide rate is down. If you were having 600 homicides a year, hypothetically speaking, and now you only having 500, yeah, the homicide rate would be down. But you're still having 500 homicides a year. This is what they're telling you. And the homicide rate is probably lower because as the illegal immigrants came in, they started taking over territories from the black gangs and the gangs that are made up of legal citizens. And obviously you don't have a lot of time to shoot at each other when you're getting pushed out of your territory by other groups. But I looked up AI. Did Trump's approval rating increase? Because you're going to see one station saying this and one saying that, and it's always people trying to spin. So I like to go to AI to get some more facts-based information. And so I'm telling you, this is the facts. So in summer, Donald Trump's approval rating was in 2025, July, Trump's approval rating was 37%. In August and September, ratings saw a slight rebound to 40%, right? According to Gallup. In October, in October, from the 13th to the 14th, his approval rating was at 40%. Center Square poll release on October 15th reported a 48% approval rating. Though this was primarily bolstered by Republicans and older male voters. What does it matter? Older male voters by Republicans and older male voters. So those older male voters could have came from the other side. And that's what you're seeing right now. A lot of older males in the Democrat Party, they're losing hope and faith in the Democrats, and they're switching over to supporting Trump because even they can see how ridiculous their positioning is on this stuff. So MSNBC, and we know what they're all about. Oh, The Economist had it at 40%. The only one that had it lower is MSNBC. These are the same people who were telling you that Kamala Harris was leading by 10 points, 12 points. These are the people who were telling you that based on the polling, Kamala Harris was going to win the presidency in a landslide. And then Kamala Harris came out after she lost. Her campaign manager came out and said, we never saw a poll, an internal poll, the accurate ones. We never saw a poll that said we led ever throughout the whole election. We never had a poll that showed us winning. So we know that these polling companies lie. We know that these news stations lie because they want you to believe that their misinformation and disinformation is having an impact on the opinions of people, right? Throughout 2025, Trump has maintained a strong, consistent support from his base with approval 90%. You know his base are the people who got him elected, right? 90%. The group independents has shown more fluctuation. Their approval of Trump reached a second term low of 29% in July, but later saw minor gains. If Trump gets independents at over 20%, he wins in a landslide again. Men versus women. There's a significant gender gap. Men like to approve of Trump. Women, however, some October polling showed his support eroding among men while improving among women. His approval is lower among younger voters, age 18 to 29 compared to older. But overall, his approval rating has increased. That's what they're just not going to tell you. That's all. That's the point I'm trying to make here. His approval rating is up, despite everything you're saying is so bad, because people approve based on how they feel, what's going on in their lives. I see people rolling up in new cars when I didn't see that under Biden. Under Biden, it felt like people were kind of like uncertain as to what was going to happen. And the immigration issue was overshadowing everything. Okay? Understand that. So, yeah. Trump's approval rating is up across the board. I think that shows that the No King stuff was just a failure. It was just a failure. But I'm still trying to understand how these people are fighting for illegal immigrants who are, they're literally stealing resources from American citizens. It to me, it's mind blowing. But hey, and it's like what Leandre said. Oh, I don't want illegal immigrants here if they hurting black people. Oh, but they should be allowed to stay. They should be allowed to stay if they really want to be here. And the same person in 4 years will be complaining about an illegal immigrant took his job. That's the way it works. That is the way it works. Let me play this clip for you real quick. I just want to give you guys we do these streams. I want to give you guys as much information as possible. And make sure you guys watch the short form content, please. It really helps the channel. It's so crazy watching these people get upset because the truth is being revealed. Who hates the truth that much? Please tell me. Let's tap into this.
Troops on October shutdown. You have the money to pay the troops on October 15th. Okay, how is
I actually have a man who is a very wealthy person. You'll know that when I tell you this. Who called a donor, a great gentleman, and he said, if there's any money necessary, shortfall, for the paying of the troops, then I will pay it, meaning he will pay it. How about that? I said, look, we're not going to need it. We're going to take care of our troops. But this was a position that's being forced upon us by Democrats. And all they have to do is just...
Front. On the other side, Democrats can't even agree amongst themselves. You got different subgroups among them. You've got a few reasonable Democrats who know shutdowns hurt the people, and they've already voted for our bill. They want to keep the government open. Then you've got others desperate to prop up the failures of Obamacare with no reforms whatsoever to make the program more affordable. That's what we're fighting for. And you've got AOC calling for her own negotiations on live TV. And you've got Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries still unable to articulate what it is they need to reopen the government. It illustrates the point once again. This was never about a solution. It was about creating an issue. Now that Democrats have had their protest and publicity stunts, I just pray that they come to their senses and end this shutdown and reopen the government this week. Republicans are waiting. The American people are waiting, and we are ready to act.
Boy. So we got to continue our coverage of the Democrat.
All right, so there you go. Donald Trump even has private citizens who are multi-billionaires who are willing to help to fund the military in the case that the government stays shut down. My question is this: how do you believe that the Democrat Party cares about American citizens, right, with all the things they do to hurt Americans? Men and women's sports. They want to take your right to have control over the education of your children. Hell, even the gender of your children. They want to take that away from you. They want to take things away from you as an American, strip you of your freedoms, while giving other people from other countries access to your resources. And if you don't agree with them, they're willing to let you suffer. They're willing to let you suffer. Right now, the Democrat Party is telling millions of Americans who depend on government assistance, we are willing to ruin your kids' Thanksgiving. We are willing to watch your children starve or watch you stand in line at a food bank rather than drop this foolish nonsense of allowing illegal criminals to exploit you by getting free health care that you and your family don't even get. That's like your wife denying you loving because of something that the neighbor wants. I'm not going to cook for you unless you let the neighbor come eat at our house. What? Does the neighbor pay for groceries? I'm not going to cook for you unless you let the neighbor come eat at our house every night. As a matter of fact, you got to let the neighbor come in and eat before you eat. Does that make sense? It's to the point where the nonsense they're talking about is so acute that even just the average layman who doesn't care about politics can see it. The Democrat Party is working for someone else, and it's painfully obvious. They are not working for the American people. they're working for someone else. And let me tell you something. Let me show you something. This has always been the Democrat position. They've always had this mindset of where it's like Americans can't be happy unless they're willing to give everything they got to illegal. Like, if we don't give to illegals, then we're going to punish Americans. You don't believe me? I'm going to show you a clip right now. This was almost a year ago. Kamala Harris told you exactly what it was going to be for you under Democrat leadership. Check this out.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we? And when
she was talking about illegal immigrants. Remember the kids? Remember the kids that was coming over with the caravans? She said, how dare we speak Merry Christmas when the illegal immigrant kids' family took them out of the country over to America, and now they caught up in flux during the holidays. They've been saying this. They've been saying this. They want you to suffer unless you agree to give illegal immigrants half your stuff. But that's not America. That's not the way we do things. Can I ask you a simple question? My daughter's here. What would you say to me if I told you you're not getting anything for Christmas, Kwanzaa, any holiday? I'm going to take that money and donate that to some illegal immigrant kids from South America.
I guess you won't be needing me later. When you're nice and old, you're going straight to the home. No.
Do you want to share what you have with
No.
Why not? Like, should we feel sorry for them?
No.
Why not?
First off, I don't know these people. Second, the main things I've been hearing about illegal immigrants, like, I'm sure there's a sprinkle of good things, but then when you look right past that, it's all bad. It's all bad. There's people getting raped, killed, houses being taken. That one area where those people just took over that huge ass apartment, and we should be supporting these people, giving them free healthcare and all that. I don't even get free healthcare. Why am I going around? Why am I looking at a package that says $7? That used to be $5. I don't care if it's $2 difference, bro. This shit is outrageous. Why should they have anything good? If I can't even get anything good, that is not fair. No. A lot of like Mexican kids do talk about that kind of stuff, but it's not something you really hear like often.
Are they ready to give up what they have to help those people?
Clearly not. They don't seem like it.
They're still buying like Jordan.
Yeah. You already know some people, especially certain people I know, they be going to Wingstop spending $20, $30. He knows who he is.
Listen, man, we got the future on lock. We got the future on lock. But your kids don't care about this. Your kids are smart enough to say, what about me? Because when they go to school, because they have less money than all of us. So when the prices of things go up, they get to do less. So if you think the next generation is coming up like, yeah, we're going to have a heart for immigrants. No, they're not. They're going to have a heart for low prices. They're going to have a heart for affordability. And they're going to say, why am I paying 3 times what this is worth? Because we want to be virtuous to some people who don't care about me. Let's send my daughter down to Venezuela. Let's send her down there. You think they're going to be like, yeah, man, we got to make sure she get a bunch of free shit. Please. They'll be trafficking her within an hour. I'm happy my kid feels like that. And you could tell just by the way she was going off. That ain't no indoctrination. She's paying attention. And she's like, hell no. It'd be like some good stuff. There's some good ones in it. But look at all this bad shit that's happening. She's a female. It's hurting her more than anybody. We was just talking about transgenders being allowed in the Miss America, Miss Universe, and all this stuff. Women are losing more than anyone, while simultaneously being the group that supports this nonsense more than anyone. But they're coming around. They're coming around because they're the ones who lose their opportunities. They're the ones who are doing the dying. They're the ones who can't run on the trail at night, right? They're the victims. They're the soft targets. That's why you have women wanting to conceal carry. Now, more and more women, I got my concealed carry. Well, yeah, why wouldn't they? When their government hates them so much that they're not only trying to put men in their sports, but they're allowing 20 million people with criminals littered among that group who get over here and commit heinous crimes against women. Guys, it doesn't make sense. There is no way you can convince me that somebody voting for this shit cares about our women. But we're supposed to be the misogynists. Oh, Donald Trump, look how he talk about women. Hell, if you're that mad about Donald Trump saying grab him by the pee, you should be 10 times more mad about immigrants let into this country by the Biden administration, literally murdering women and hanging them up in like satanic positions. Lincoln Riley, Jocelyn Nungary, I think her name is. And the list goes on and on. No one said it's just criminals, but there are criminals. It's not just snakes getting in at night when you leave the door open. It's some bunny rabbits too. What the hell? Boy, you must not listen to Muhammad Ali. Hey, man, we letting 100 snakes in. About 50 of them is, no, we letting 100 snakes in your house. Only 15 of them are venomous, though. You're going to be like, yo, I need to get all the snakes out. I'm not about to sort through the venomous ones. How about this? How about we send them back? The ones who are truly seeking asylum go through the vetting process, and then we let them in. How about we just follow the rules the way they were designed? The way they were intended to be followed. That's all I'm saying. It ain't politics misleading people. It's fear-mongering and emotional psyops being played on people that's misleading the people. Nah, no one's even saying it's a Mexico issue. We're way past that. This is actually an informed channel. So all the stuff that you think we don't know, we already talked about that stuff. But let me get these super chats, guys. Shout out to my girl Monique in the building checking me out. Nurses cheat on their spouse more than any other profession. Thoughts? I don't care about that. We all love a naughty nurse, man. Shout out to Point and Shoot Forever for the $5. KP from the KC. Liberals are insane. Why do these liberals fight so hard for illegals? They place illegal immigration over reparations. That is a fact. California is spending $12.4 billion on illegal immigrant so that illegal immigrants can have free health care while simultaneously telling you they don't have money for reparations. I'm not a super big reparations guy, but I'm just saying I would take issue with that. Shout out to my boy for the $5 holler. Did y'all drop anything in the Cash App? Let me make sure. I just don't want to miss anybody. Shout out to my girl Eagle Eye Prepping for the $5 holler in Cash App. Shout out to my girl Michelle for the $5 holler in Cash App. I appreciate y'all. Y'all queens. They're always showing me love. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve all the love you guys give me. But just keep on giving it, okay? You know, even the sun even shines on a dog's ass some days. So I deserve it. Real GT Real GT, you want to come up here, man? Come on. I'll give you the link. You come up here. We got room. We got time for one more liberal. I like when people get in the comments and be saying that because I just want to. I like picking y'all brain. No, just say click the link. Come on. Come on up here. Come on down. I'm Bob Barker. Click the link and come up here. I just gotta understand. If I could go to Venezuela, right, and have access to their economy, open a little coffee shop, open a little cafe down there, bring their ass over here as much as they want to. But we can't do that. That's not fair. Why? Okay, if they get free access to our economy, why can't I have free access to their economy? Because they know if Americans got access to their economy, they would lose access to their economy. That's what we do. We build up economies. We built up the greatest country in the history of the world. We're more industrious than other people in other places. You might not believe that, but go travel the world like I have, and you will understand that Americans just got a different passion and a different drive than other groups. We're the people who invented customer service, right? Muslims don't see you as a human unless you're Muslim. Muslims are just whatever. I'm not even dealing with the Muslim stuff right now. They piss me off. Hamas stuff. I might drop a short form video on that. But right now, hell, they really piss me off with the Gaza stuff. Nah. But thank y'all for watching this. I'm not gonna waste no more of y'all time. It's a beautiful Monday. Way to get the week started off right. I want everybody to stay safe and stay blessed. So until the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other.